Welcome to the Creative Plan Podcast Network. Join us as we share our favorite RPGs, one-shot games, tabletop games, reviews of items, and convention panels, and other exciting things that we run into from time to time. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Hi, this is Kelly, aka Trixie from Ragnarok and Roll, a Scion to Ragnarok story, and Tilda Wimblewick from D&D Journey of the 5th Edition. First off, I would just like to say thank you to everyone for listening to our varied adventures, as well as for rating us on iTunes and rpgpodcast.com. If you haven't rated us yet, we would greatly appreciate it if you could. And if you're looking for more ways to support our efforts, we are now on Patreon, a great site where you can help us continue making more podcasts, as well as some special surprises for our patrons. If you can, please look us up at www.patreon.com/cppn. Every little bit helps. And again, thank you for listening.
We gotta talk about doing steampunk and shit as a business. I really need to drink.
Well, if they'd have let me bring alcohol in, I'd have had communion for us.
This panel should actually be called Steampunk as a Business. Don't do it. I wonder if he realizes he has a panel day with me. He should.
Hope so.
You had something.
If not, he'll figure it out real quick.
I think you had something drop on the table.
Cedric said, get your punk ass here.
Right? If he's not here in a minute.
I'll just put this right here so I get
Just in case.
Well, we still got 5 minutes, and then I'm going to start texting and dirty messages.
If worst case scenario, we'll find somebody with a radio to track him down.
Thomas, you're late. Bring wine.
Tobias, too, as he's
Supposedly.
Last I saw Thomas was like a...
But have you met Tobias, guys? He doesn't show up anywhere early. Make sure you call him by his proper Roman name. Tobias Guys.
They're all interesting, but like...
Please tell me that's full of wine.
Vodka.
Yes! You have now become my favorite person ever. Come on, Thomas, get it up the ramp. I know you're old. Dude, you could roll it up the handicap ramp and park it right here.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Not the worst idea you've ever come up with. Check your quick boy. Put the batteries in, man. We talked about this.
I got a cool light that goes on when I press
That's how we got dropped by the death claws last time, man.
Yeah.
We didn't put the batteries in. Oh, we still have 1 minute.
We still have 1 minute.
And no Tobias.
You know what we called it? You know what we called him on the show? Because he was the first one to leave? Good bias.
That's just wrong, bro. That's just
I
so
know, I
wrong.
called James the haircut. Because he had this perfect haircut.
And I can't text him because my phone is back at the table being used as a mobile hotspot.
Yeah, so is my phone. My girlfriend left her phone somewhere last night.
You missed me giving her crap a minute ago. She was still reading the pamphlet. It's like, Amy, we know you can't read. So she flips it over. I was like, no, let me see that. I was like, no, there's no pictures. Quit lying. And then she started pouting. That's no pouts. No pouts. Stop. No pouts. None of us can read. It's the apocalypse.
This is the first chance you get to actually show off.
Why didn't you roll it up over here?
Because I only have a learner's permit. I'm not good at it. I'm like a bam at the end.
There were so many comments I could say to that last segment. Untouchable. You left that wide.
So that's your Vespa that you
That's the Vespa I was working on. That's the Fallout Vespa. Cool thing about this Fallout Vespa I was working on. So I thought maybe I'll do a little bit of a paint job and maybe some stickers. And then it turns out some friends of mine work at Bethesda Games who sell Fallout. They're like, want to 3D print some stuff from the game? I'm like,
dude, you want to talk about Uber geeks? Bethesda? We built the only Bethesda blessed Securitron, full-size Securitron with the monitor and everything. And George was worried about the copyright. Bethesda was going to get mad at us. Dude, the second we took that over there and we sent them pictures, you thought they were 5-year-old kids who just got their parents' credit card in a candy store.
As long as you're not selling their stuff, they're like, oh my god. The Bethesda Games is owned by Linda Carter and her husband.
Yep.
So Wonder Woman owns Bethesda Games.
Why do you think she was just one of the singers in one of them? She asked if she could have
Yeah,
a
She was
she's got
When the woman that owns you says, "Can I sing?" you say,
Yes, ma'am.
and they've been seeing pictures of the progress, and supposedly she likes it too. So that senpai noticed me. I'm chuffed about it. I just recently looked up. Some guy messaged me. He goes, "We can't find any other reference to 3D printed modded motorcycles ever so far." He said, "This might be the first. That would be cool."
Well, yeah, since the 3D printing is still so new, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if that's the first one done.
Yeah, they scanned. One of the guys came up and he scanned the bike, and I came up with some designs. He just did some amazing stuff. There's jet intakes and exhausts, and all this stuff, and I did graphic design for it. And there's a rumor that in one of their newer properties there will be a Vespa sitting there.
Sweet.
Because Vespas are cool, damn it.
I only got to be a statue. I didn't get to be a cool investment.
Yeah.
I need one with a bubble.
Vespa-
A really tall
You need a
bubble.
Pokemobile. Post-apocalyptic Pokemobile. See, we need to make that.
We need to find people to pay us to do this.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we need a budget.
Here's the minute's up. Business thing.
Business.
Here's
We
the
need a
business.
budget.
Here's one of the biggest business things. People do this to I'm sure all of us all the time. You should make this.
Yeah.
Are you paying for it?
You got a checkbook?
Because you should make another giant robot. There's $10,000 spent, and you're not paying for it. And I should make it because I love art. That's what I have stuff. That's what I have a refrigerator door for. Art that I love. It's on my refrigerator.
And with me, since my lovely long-haired hippie here is not married, with me, in order to spend that kind of money to build shit, I have to go to the angry blue-haired lady and say, "Hey, honey, I need money for blank," and then she glares at me for an hour. And there's a moratorium on me having good ideas. So,
But there are solutions to this. And that's where you guys can help out as the Patreon pages.
Oh, yeah. I don't have a Patreon. I had a Patreon for a short period of time, and I actually told people, look, I have not been keeping up. Please stop. Done. And then $65 appeared in my account. No, please. I really am being a nice guy here. I don't want your money because I'm not producing. Because I've been busy with work and shit.
yeah.
Patreon takes a lot of work.
And that's the other thing people don't realize is, we could do the Kickstarters, we can do the Patreons, we can do that stuff. But as artists, we feel, at that point, we feel obligated to, we have to produce a certain level. And if we don't, if you got an artist that doesn't feel bad because they're not producing for you and you're supporting their projects,
Right.
shoot them in the head.
Yeah, you end up getting depressed and playing video games and learning how Fallout works.
Yeah.
Because I can't do anything. I'm nothing.
And I will say, I'm sure Thomas can back me up on this one. Doing your hobby as your business and becoming your primary source of income. Think long and hard before you do it. Really sit back and think about, okay, yes, I love building blank. Do I want to solely make it where building blank means I eat? If I don't build blank, my rent doesn't get paid, my phone bill doesn't get paid, there's no food on the table. Because that takes doing this for fun now becomes mandatory. I'm sure he's walked into it. Charles has walked into it. I've hit it where you look at your table and your tools and you're like, why am I doing this? I could go get a $30 an hour job doing blank. Thomas has got more letters after his name, and he could go make a shit ton of money. I retired from the fire department as a firefighter paramedic, and you really have to, are you willing to take your hobby and make a risk of looking at that hobby 5 years, 10 years down the road and wanting to walk away from it and never touch it again.
Making one of these is like is genius and you're loving it. After the 5th to 20th of these, you're trying to figure out if it can actually work.
Yeah.
Is it this way or this? I just want to bitch. I don't want to hurt myself.
Yeah. Or if you get hired, oh my God, I got hired by industry to do a movie. This is really damn cool. And if you're sitting in a fetal position at 3 o'clock in the morning, 3 months in, because you just built 969 pieces of leather in a 2-week period, you got to start thinking about your life choices at that point.
Oh, and like, we've both done movie work and Hollywood stuff and everything, and everyone thinks, oh man, you must be rolling in it. Who told you that? Because first of all, I don't know about him, but I'm genetically predisposed to be an artist because I'm so bad with money.
That's why I have a wife.
There's a moratorium on Vespas I'm allowed to buy because I'm picking up one on the way home when I drive. That's 3 Vespas and 1 electric scooter. How many asses do I have? But this Vespa's a different Vespa, really?
So most people don't realize is, you work for industry, you do TVs and movies. They don't realize that 98.6% of that income goes to overhead. Because tandy leather ain't cheap. No. And when, like, for Into the Badlands, when we walked in, I'm dropping on an average, I think per week, was somewhere around $35,000. That's tandy leather. They love me.
He shows up and they're like, I'm putting the kid through college.
Yes. I used to make that joke that I put the Tandy CEO's kids through college until I ran into a lady one day in Dallas. I made that joke. She started laughing. She goes, you know who my dad is, right? And that was the CEO's daughter. She was the manager of the Dallas store. She's like, oh! She's like, no, thank you for college. You're welcome.
There's a tandy leather I live in godforsaken central Pennsylvania. There's nothing there. Pennsylvania's built like this. You've got Pittsburgh on one end, Philadelphia on the other, and South Wales or Alabama in the middle. I mean, it's like that. There's not a lot there, and I live in the center of that in little Harrisburg. So they got rid of the tandy leather at one point. So, this isn't that great. And they thought everyone would go to other tandies, which were a little further away and all that stuff. And they noticed those people just quit leatherworking. They were like, wait a minute, what? And within 9 months, there was a brand new tandy leather. And I had a girlfriend who lived she lived down in Georgia. So I go to the Atlanta Tandy when I go to visit her. But I was nervous because I lived in Harrisburg. Part of the reason I stayed there is I have tandy leather walking distance from my house.
Oh, God.
It's really nice. I mean, I go, I'm a little low on rivets. I just do. And they know me well enough. One of the good things, if you're working for yourself, is make good relationships.
Yes. Make allies, not enemies.
This, I never go in there going, do you know who I am? Or anything like that. I never have an ego about this. This is their territory. I go in there and go, hi, I was wondering about, and they do things that they're not supposed to do.
Are we supposed to be in dress uniform today? Okay. Or you were kind of fracking because I'm the captain.
They will actually hold pieces of leather because they think I'll like them. They're like, you want this type of stuff. They've given me credit when I didn't have credit at one point. They've been great, but that was because I built a relationship with these people. And of course, I'm putting some of their kids through college.
Most of their kids through college. Oh, look, it's wine time.
It's wine o'clock?
It's wine. 2 down for New Orleans. It's always wine o'clock.
I have not.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Because of what's a?
It's about time.
Boots.
We're on a schedule here.
Can't drink all day. You gotta start in the morning.
Oh man, now we gotta put up with that ego the rest of the day. Thanks a lot.
He thinks he gets drinks because we like him.
No, because we like him.
It's called personality.
Buy boots.
Like a lot better.
It's only for the entertainment.
It really is.
This is
You know we had a start time, right?
Yes.
You know why you got voted off the island in the first episode.
Because I didn't hit on that. I hit on Kate.
Yeah, but I had better.
Then who? Kate or me?
By the way, this is how you tell steampunk friends.
You didn't tell them about the roast idea, right?
No.
Not yet.
Okay.
I haven't told them on that yet.
We'll get
By
there.
the way, we have a secret for you.
Next. Why is my butt hurt?
It probably should.
Should just clench, huh?
So let's ask you guys, if you guys are in for this. What we're talking about with Diana and the Wild Wild West Con people is each year they will elect from you guys a top builder kind of thing in the community to roast at that year's Wild West Con.
My friends would be shattered.
And you guys, would you guys be willing to sit there and watch one of us get roasted? Okay, those smiles.
Oh man, my feelings.
All you predators back away.
For one, it's a stupid question because when does it stop?
Can we
do that anyway?
Can we all just go up and get roasted, like individually? But whoever lasts the longest before like hitting a red escape button, like I can't take it anymore.
Okay, only if we have somebody the moderator of the panel has to cosplay Poe. Yeah, from Ultra Carbon.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
I've only seen one episode.
So good.
That's all?
Slacker?
I haven't been home.
I mean, I've only seen like 3.
And a tablet and a phone.
And I drive. I don't do that. I have friends who do that all the time. And I'm looking at them, they're like, oh, don't text and drive. Don't watch movies and drive. If I run down a hill, I can see out there.
If they didn't want you to watch movies and drive, why did they put a television screen on the
Guy asked me to make a
dash?
translucent heads-up display, counter-reflective, so you did reverse reflection. So he could watch. I said, let me check on the big list of no. Right up there with incest and folk dancing is me making this damn thing.
I've seen you folk dance.
I know.
I've seen you.
That's why it's number 2 now.
It got moved up.
Yeah, I moved up.
Have y'all heard about the random weird thing where one of the north central states has billboard campaigns about don't enjoy certain kinds of movies and drive?
Oh.
Hey, I draw a line, damn it.
Yeah, I mean, if the people that are driving around me don't enjoy it, they just have poor taste.
And you're definitely not driving.
There's no kids in here, is there?
That's the thing.
All right, we're checking.
All right, we're good.
Yeah, that looks young.
Yeah, that one, the beer looks really young.
Fantastic, by the way.
Yeah, by the way, I'm impressed, but he's from Mississippi, it don't count. That's a flavor
Is that
saver
just
right
what
there.
happens in Mississippi?
So doing this for a living, back to...
Let's get off the tangent, Dragon.
Oh yeah, we do that.
A lot of people, the big thing people ask is, how do you make the jump from the day job? Some people
Screaming?
screaming and going, make the jump from the day job. Like some people retire from something so they have a supplemental income, or some people get married so they have a supplemental income.
You can do that?
Yeah.
You missed out.
I can get that memo.
At one point, for 2 years, I had a day job working in a cabinetry and sign shop. Just 40 hours a week, all that stuff. And then I was coming home, and then I had another day job, making leather work and stuff like that, and corsetry and everything. We were working every weekend. I had to threaten, my ex-wife was such a workhorse, Central Pennsylvania workhorse. I mean, she had to fit in her mouth.
That was something different.
I know. But
I've got those pictures.
I had to threaten to cut the cord on the sewing machine to get her to stop. Dead serious. This becomes an obsession when you work for yourself.
Yeah.
I wish I was kidding. If she was here, she would laugh and say, yeah. I woke her up. She was sitting up in this... We're making corsets all the time. She was sitting up in bed.
I swear to God, you still a margarita, you're a dead man.
Pushing
That's alcohol.
fabric in her sleep.
Evie has pictures of Zombie and I laying on our blocks with the piece we were tooling, with our hammer in one hand, tool in the other, and we're just laying there sleeping because we've been going for 24 hours. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like Thomas was saying, when you own your own company, sure you can ask for vacation, but if it doesn't get done, you don't eat.
I'm having I work with a lot of younger people because I am stupidly dating one. But then again, yeah, great work if you can get it. But it is very trying. I'm training a lot of people, and they're constantly, like I say, I'm really tired. Well, let's take a break. No, are you going to shovel the coal? It's an old saying. Are you going to shovel the coal? Because someone's got to shovel the coal, keep that boiler going.
You see, like with us into the Badlands, my guys found out real quick. We have 45 or 50 belts due that have to be out the door when I get up at 7 o'clock on Monday morning after being on set all weekend. And if those don't go out, that TV show, that episode doesn't film. You're talking millions of dollars that are down there, and your career. So
all of the career, not just part of the career, all of the career.
Bye bye, I'm going to go work at McDonald's. And they figure that's the other thing that most people don't realize when you go, hey, it'd be really cool to own my own company. You are putting not only your entire life investment on the line for this, but your reputation. And I was joking when I said, you take the jump screaming. You really honestly do. Because if you sit there and look at that edge and keep looking at it, you're never going to do it. A lot of times we're looking at the edge and something will come up and go, bye.
And that's not always a bad thing either. Sometimes you just don't need to take that leap.
Well, at one point, I was doing math. I'm very good with math, thankfully.
I'm not.
And it was costing me money to have a day job.
Yep.
That time, because I was making enough selling stuff, I was, wait a minute, the day job hours, that extra 40 hours, I could make X amount, which is more than I'm making at, including taxes, insurances. Got to think about these things. Space in the house, and everything costs something. We think of rivets not costing anything. They cost a quarter of a penny, or they cost X amount. You've got to. My rivets and all my stuff. There's a little price in front of every. You pull a D-ring out, this D-ring is $3. This D-ring is 50 cents.
And you think that sounds easy, but as just an artist, you don't think about that.
Nope.
For me, my business manager is my wife. She comes in and points out, this costs this much, this costs this. It's like, say he comes in and says, hey, I want you to tool a pauldron. I don't think about, okay, it's going to take this amount of time at this amount for me to do it, plus the material. As an artist, I'm like, okay, I need to tool this. I'm going to have to draw this. Okay, I can make it really look badass here.
Yeah, we're not focused on the
finances right here.
Yeah.
And I don't think about the money. That's not where my brain is. I'm an artist. That's a real quick way to the poorhouse.
It took me a decade of just being insane about it, and everyone calling me, you're an asshole. Aren't you supposed to be an artist? This is why I'm still eating.
Yeah.
And because I don't have, my ex-wife and I work with Hawaii. We're good friends, actually. I got the house, she got Hawaii.
They're both sweethearts. We love both of them.
My ex-wife, this is great because someone will say, oh, you and your nasty old ex-wife, she's like pushing 60 and has bulletproof abs.
Yeah.
And I was she's almost 60.
You gotta fucking be
She's worth 3 20-year-olds.
Damn!
Yeah. We're good friends.
I don't know what she's on.
I know. She's
damn!
I know. But we were working insanely hard and to keep that going. I had to do the math. And I didn't want to do that. I don't want to do the math.
Math's
hard.
One of the things
Math is not just
math
hard.
sucks.
It's inconvenient.
It
tells you no money in it.
It tells you no.
Tom, 90s Malibu Barbie. Tell me one thing. Math is hard.
Yes.
Let's go shopping.
Yeah, exactly.
Like for us, what we do at ASI is when I build a piece, or Zombie builds a piece, or Lulu builds a piece, I don't price my stuff. I can't price my stuff as an artist. Because if I build a set hat, to me as an artist, I'm like, man, I can see every mess up in that. I can see everywhere I screwed up. $10.
Yeah, right.
And then you hear the explosion coming from behind from the little blue-haired angry lady.
Did you just what?
That door slam.
Yeah.
Are you on strawberry flavored crack?
Yeah.
No, that's
funny.
That's oh.
So the best thing we do with ASI is the second that we are done building said item, it immediately goes to the person who's in charge of doing the math and the putting a price on it. Because we'll undersell ourselves as artists twice on Sunday, 3 times during the week.
I had to learn not to do that.
Yeah.
And how I did it, you want to know how to do it? Go on Etsy, go look for comparable things, see what the market will bear. That's the other problem with things. You want to know? I make giant robots. I made I made all kinds of cool stuff. My highest profit margin piece is a little button, a pin that says some shitty thing I said to somebody once.
Because
There's a lot of them.
Because to tool something like this, if we actually put in the price for time that we work, materials, blah 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 blah, you're talking about $1,000 piece. That's all great and good, but it's going to sit on my table and collect dust because ain't nobody going to be able to afford that in the con world.
Yep.
And especially if you're living off conventions, you're dealing with con kids. Yep. These are kids who have either got money from mommy and daddy, or they've saved up their money.
Yeah, it's a matter of knowing the market.
And we came to this. It's a matter of sitting there and finally realizing, okay, here's this line in the sand. Here's my profit. Here's my stuff sitting on the table. How bad do you want to get your stuff off the table? Okay, that means I got to make more to make for this one piece. But it's either that or this stuff sits on my table and my table becomes a museum. That's going to lay you in the poorhouse. We're not going to eat. We're going to become skinny little white boys.
And people when they tell us, hey, you should make, they want a museum. They want you to make incredible things. They're never going to buy. We can never. I get a lot of, I'd love to buy something from Brute Force, but I can never afford it. And I'm like,
there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
I want you to build a Matilda. You can't afford that.
Yeah. So that's why I balance it out. I have a bunch of pieces. I still everyone still gets value for their money.
Yep.
I'm not gonna sit there and sell. Here's a leather scrap that I put a pin back on. It's they're saying the things no one else is doing. I put a nice little graphic on there and everything. And that is those things there pay my gas for every trip I go.
On that note, what proved that to me was Suzo with those damn leather mustaches on a stick.
Yeah.
She made these mustaches on a stick for people. And we're like, okay, yeah, that's fine. $1
people
piece.
Who can't grow mustaches.
Yeah, for people who can't grow mustaches and ladies who want to hang out with the boys.
And ladies who want to grow.
Who want to be in the smoking section. Tobias.
No, that's me.
So we're like, okay, whatever.
Wait. Can I do a photo shoot in one of your corsets?
Yeah.
Yeah, shit, yeah.
Wait, I need your. I want to recreate the Sarah Hunter. You search steampunk and she's right there. I want that.
Mechanical.
Okay, there's
arms,
an image I will
huge
never get out of my
eyes.
head. This is
pretty
not
strong
going to
steampunk. You said it today.
But Suzo proved to us, because we're like, these stupid things are never going to sell, because we made the mustaches out of our scrap. So out of these huge pieces of leather, our scrap that we're throwing on the ground, Suzo's coming over grabbing and making mustaches. I'll be goddamned if she wasn't out selling us with these stupid mustaches on a stick for $1. And I'm like, okay, I stand corrected. I will come over here and eat crow. And don't knock the $1, $2 sale.
Mm-hmm. Not even a little.
Because that $1 and that $2 will add up quickly. On top of that, for your reputation, you just made that person's day.
Mm-hmm.
And don't think that, all of us roll our eyes at, branding and that sort of thing. I've told Thomas a long time ago, bitch, I will be the NASCAR of Steampunk. Him and I will walk in fucking driver suit. Pardon my French, I'm sorry. I'm air pirate. Walk in driver suits with, and today in the Pennzoil Airship, we did really good today.
I'm really waiting with cosplay getting more popular. Like, you'll have, the dude in his epic sword, and then he turns the sword and it's all these logos.
This is in the process of happening with me. There's electroluminescent paint. Have heard of it?
Yeah.
One of the companies that developed one of the better ones. I made a joke about wow, you could make the armor from WoW that glows like this. I'm already.
Oh yeah.
That's the project we're working on.
If you make WoW armor without me, I'm gonna.
This is WoW armor that you turn it on and it doesn't just shine. It radiates light to look like magic armor. But your sword will say the company's name on the side.
And on that note, we know beyond a shadow of doubt, and if you guys as artists, if you don't know this, you will know this, you will be called sellouts.
Yeah.
They will call you every name in the damn book. But what I want you to do, if that happens,
successful.
Yeah, if that happens with you as artists, I want you to go look up a little band called Green Day. And I think Bobby said it the best. He's like, you know what? People might call us sellouts, but it takes money to do what I'm doing. ASI's been called sellouts because we were working with Tandy Leather, we were working with AMC.
Yeah, how dare you work with your suppliers?
Yeah, he's been called a sellout working with suppliers. The thing is people want, and I get the whole we want artwork for artwork to be artwork, but somebody's got to pay for that crap. And if you don't want to pay for it, you get to go talk to the angry blue-haired lady, who, there's no kids in here, who controls my nookie. I'm not pissing that off. I follow the Dune philosophy that the spice must flow. And if I drop $1,000 on something that's not paid for, that spice quits flowing. This man gets real angry, which means my crew is going to get real angry.
Yep.
So if you're going to do this and you have the chance to get sponsors, screw what everybody else says. Especially if you're doing leather work, you're doing prop builds, because it's not cheap.
Yaya, who knows Yaya Hot? No, of Yaya Hot. I've met Yaya. I've talked to her and everything. I like Yaya.
I like Yaya.
I talk to her because I talk to her when she's not Yaya Hot.
Yeah, when she's a person, it's
when
great.
she's a
When
person.
she's not, it's not.
Almost all the famous people you know who people don't like them. First of all, I live in Europe a lot of the time, so I have a really shitty attitude. And I'm not going to get better. I'm like 50 some odd years old. I'm not going to see the light.
You don't live in Europe.
We've been trying to tell you that for years.
But Americans love an underdog, no matter how much of an asshole that underdog is. As long as you think you're supporting an underdog, that person's right. Doesn't matter if they molest kittens. But they're pirates.
That's not me.
It drives me crazy. So anyone, you know who's supposed to be successful? People you don't know. And people are shitty about it. And I've got friends I've known, people I've known for 30 years who are like, well, we're not all this. And I admit, I'm not the best about people's insecurities. I'm like, ha ha ha, you're right, you're not that. Why are you talking to me? No, and then they get mad and I go, no, I've known you for 30 years, I'm still talking to you, shut up. But it's going to happen. If you get successful, there's a target on your head.
Yep.
I mean, it's
that's
they
right
love it.
about whoa, that's real.
Yeah, and they love it. They're like, there are people here who are going to be offended.
You gotta watch it.
They're like, oh my god, I get to take them down. That gets me so whoa. They love
I'm
it.
getting
That was
that.
weird. Never do that while I'm sitting next to you. So I am not wearing enough armor.
You
wore protection, dude.
It becomes the biggest joy in their
So working on it,
to
thanks
bring
to
you
you.
down. Because working hard is hard. But bringing you down is easy. All they have to do is say something crappy and get a bunch of other pathetic MFs to go and say something crappy with them.
And they will. They'll attack you. If you start to become successful, be it any of the subgenres, be it steampunk, be it cyberpunk, be it goth,
Any community.
any of those communities. The second that you own your own company and you start to be successful, you will get attacked. Count on it. So, A, get a thick skin. Know that you have a mission to accomplish. That mission is what you... Yes, sir.
I just have a quick question.
Yeah.
Sorry, you were surprised, but
No, you're good.
talk about for a second learning to say no, because success.
Bingo.
I wish I was good at that.
I mean, we understand that is the first words you learn as a toddler. I have that problem.
I'm so good at saying no.
And I know most of us are this way. Having been a former DJ and doing all that stuff, and then becoming a maker, my fans are everything to me.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if I just came off of a 2-hour DJ set. There's a couple things I want. I want to piss, I want to vape, and I want a Mountain Dew. Not in that order. But if you turn that corner and that fan is standing there, you damn well better give them the time.
That's for real.
And you're right. There's a point where you have to, when someone says, hey, can you build this, or can you do this for me, that the NO word needs to come into your vocabulary. And I'm really bad about this. Really, really bad about this. My wife is much better at it. She puts her hand on my arm and goes, no.
I have pushed a lot of people.
Yeah,
Like, he did a TV show. You know, he was on TV show. He did TV. So suddenly you get this influx, and I have, because I don't like these people. When they overwhelm me, I push. I go, no, but there's this guy.
Yeah.
He might be able to.
Oh, you want laser printing? You need to call Thomas Willeford at Brute Force. This is your man right there.
Yeah, he's your
But you gotta keep calling him. Call him constantly, otherwise he doesn't answer the phone.
Wheeler, I hands work off Wheeler. There's one guy in the world who I hand work off to just to be a jerk, and I do. And I say, tell him Thomas sent you, and I hand him brilliant work that makes.
This is
lots
where
of
Game
money.
of Thrones comes into play.
This is Game of Thrones type shit.
Tell him ASI sent you.
His name is JW.
Be nice. Be
No,
nice.
be nice. He hates me with a passion bordering on insanity. I don't hate him at all, so I send him work. I send people to him all the time, and I never say anything mean about it. I'm not saying anything mean now. He's an incredible artist.
That's fair. I would also argue that you don't always have to say no specifically.
Sometimes say maybe.
You maybe.
I'll think about
or
it.
you become. It's the art of the compromise
How
and being
much?
able to control and negotiate what you're talking about. Like, oh, you want this product. You want all these bells and whistles. Well, this would not work for you, I assure you. Because you're not a maker and you just want an actual lightsaber, and I can't do that.
Now, also, with that in point, keep in mind, like when we got hired to do Into the Badlands, when Greg called us the first time, I thought this dude was psycho crazy. A, I didn't know he's from Los Angeles.
That's a real sticking point on the
B,
crazy.
I didn't know the caliber of props master he was, but he sounded crazy. We're on the road. I'm cutting across 6 lanes of Oklahoma City, downtown Oklahoma City highway to get to my exit right there. I'm on the phone with a dude from Hollywood. I need this, this, and this. So Zombie and Lulu actually designed goggles in the hotel room to send him. We didn't know who this dude was. We thought he was batshit crazy. And that's what got us into the Badlands. So when you're contacted by some of these people, you have to gauge as a business owner, just because they sound nuts like Thomas, they might be somebody who is getting ready to make your career.
If you're waiting for a saint to come up and
we are in your domain.
The body of Christ. Okay.
And if you're waiting for that
My
perfect
Folsom
person who has
Christian
no past, who's never done anything wrong, who everyone loves to come up and give you a job, yeah, you have fun with that.
They don't exist.
I've never seen it. I've got a kids TV show. Someone wants me to be on a kids TV show with a robot.
I got 2 words for you, or 3 words for you. Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
Oh man.
There you go.
They want me to do this on a TV show. This guy has hit on every female creature he's been in. No.
Excuse me. You can also point here.
Now this guy is sleaze.
You know I love you too.
He's
I know.
sleaze in a shirt. And my girlfriend's
But
like,
okay.
I don't want you to work with him because he's sleazy. It's like,
His money works.
yeah.
His money is less
He's
sleazy.
got the ear of someone at Netflix.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, his British ass is gonna sit there and be the director of this show.
And that's the deal. And that's the deal as being a business owner, especially in the steampunk world or
In any community.
any genre.
Yeah.
As that figurehead, anything that I say, anything that Thomas says, anything Tobias says, reflects on our company. For Thomas, it's him and his lovely lady are going to get screwed if he says something wrong. Tobias, same way. For me, I have a crew. It's the only way I can do what I do. So you have to realize that, yeah, we rub each other and mess with each other here, but you get us in front of the guys who have the checkbooks.
No bullshit.
No bullshit.
Yeah.
Because if I say something wrong, if Thomas says something wrong,
If I look at him funny.
we just lost a $100,000 contract.
Yeah, don't overtalk.
Yeah.
Dear God.
We're
Especially his son.
Yeah, of course. I'm here with you guys. This is part of our badges say entertainer on it.
Yep.
Okay? Of course I'm over talking. But when I'm at that business, they don't need to know anything about my social life. If they come up and say, hi, I'm in a poly relationship, that's very nice. Anyway, back to my...
Back to what we need to talk about.
I don't sit there, they're not my friend. Maybe later on that happens, you get to be on their whole life. Do you know that...
So let me describe what happens when this goes horribly wrong.
Oh no.
So, we got the contract to do Dickens on the Strand in Galveston, Texas. Big 40-plus year event, yada, 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 yada. ASI was still new. We were in our 2nd or 3rd year. I'm a Galveston kid from Texas. Oh my God, this is Dickens on the Strand. All is good. The horns are blowing. The Pope shows up. Everything's humming. So, we go to our 2nd meeting with the Galveston Historical Foundation. Okay? Brand new company. brand new company. So we're sitting there. We're talking about what we're going to do for Dickens on the Strand, and all of a sudden, the head of the Galveston Historical Society says, so we saw a little video.
Oh, shit.
Okay. Now, we had one of our crew members do the Thunder Down Under. He's an Australian character, and he put a lightning ball on a cod piece that you could touch and make the lightning do things. And so he brought it out at a convention, and we videotaped it.
Because that's funny.
Because that's what we do.
Get this stick out of anyway.
And so all of a sudden, Evie and I are there. We're all business in business mind because this is a very lucrative contract. And now she says, like, so I was like, what video did you see? I'm thinking, okay, it's one of the cool videos. What is this Thunder from Down Under?
And the heart crashes.
Oh, I just lost. How am I going to tell my crew I just lost a major contract? Luckily, they had a sense of humor. They thought it was the funniest shit they'd ever seen.
Thank God.
So as Evie is finishing the deal, I'm outside smoking 5 cigarettes. Like,
Yeah, at once, by the way.
In my case, they were like, "Oh, this is a great idea. We love your thing. We're going to have this character." And then they called us up and said, "Yeah, we just got my ex-girlfriend Sarah and I. Yeah, we just got the cover of Penthouse."
Yeah, you did.
yep, yeah, you did.
Is that Sarah on the cover?
No!
It says Sarah Hunter. And literally they said, "We'll get back to you." And I never heard from
I've got that copy. You can't miss it.
Yeah, can't miss it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's good.
That wasn't just me bragging, but
I know.
Not
That was
just.
him. That was
Not just.
there was a little bit of brag.
But
a little
yeah,
bit of brag.
humble brag.
We're still air pirates.
Aye.
So when you own your own company in the subculture world, realize that every single thing you do, and I mean everything you do, has repercussions. Who everybody you talk to, that even the person you didn't even think about who comes up to you on the street.
That one is real. Like,
I
don't remember meeting this person. I don't remember the impression I might have made on this person.
I've had the lead producer for Pirates of the Caribbean walk up to my table and start talking to my people. I'm in the back smoking a cigarette, drinking wine, and eating food.
Mm-hmm.
I hear the voice. Turn around, I was like, "Oh no!" You know,
Got a sandwich in hand.
yeah, it's like sandwich cigarette goes flying. It's like I know who that is. Yeah, because one of my guys is like, they could end up calling him dumbass stupid guy, is what Evie and all them call him. Like, do you realize who that is?
Oh, no.
No. Let me show you a YouTube video. That's the producer for the Pirates of the Caribbean. Good job, guys.
Proud of you.
Every single thing you do, even all the way down to the interactions between Thomas and I, are going to be looked at, dissected, and in the steampunk community, there's this rumor out there Thomas and I hate each other. That is the farthest thing from the damn truth that's out there.
But what's great about
when
it
it
is you
came
can play off
out,
it.
I said, "Call me."
Yeah.
Because someone had written something saying that I had said something really shitty about everything.
Oh, I remember.
everything.
I remember.
I
Well,
was like, "Whoa, I don't have that much time."
I remember when that came out. That was
some
awful.
Some of it I was
I
like,
got a phone call 10 minutes later from Tom. I'm in the parking lot of Bed Bath & Beyond, and here's my phone ring. Because every single thing you do as a business owner is going to reflect on your business.
"Oh, this, by the way, I had 2 TV shows lined up because of the other TV show, and they said not interested anymore because of this."
Yep.
And I've had people say, "I think I know who did it," and I tell them, "Do not tell me who."
Because we'll all go get them.
Yeah.
I know my limits. I'm a jovial pacifist. I will pass my fist
You are
right
full
through
of shit.
something.
You are full of shit.
Under the right conditions. But I called him and he was like, "Yeah, they said you said this." I said, "There's one problem with that." He goes, "Yeah, you would say that to me."
You said
I am not a shy retiring flower about how I feel. If I didn't like you, you pretty much know. And so at that point he's like, "Yeah, this sucks." And so we've been fine.
I'm going into Bed Bath & Beyond to go buy sheets.
Yeah.
So I'll call you later.
Yeah, exactly.
My wife is
Good
glaring
luck.
at me.
Yeah, exactly.
So be ready for that when you own your own company. You are going to get attacked. Avery right here on the front row makes badass lamps. And he's going to eventually, somebody's going to turn around because he makes really cool crap and attack him just for the simple fact that just for the simple fact that he's successful. So know that going into owning your own company, that people are going to hate on you, and you've got to get a thick skin.
Haters make you famous.
Yeah, any bad press is still press.
Still press.
You've seen Lord of the Rings, all that type of stuff, right? So I got to go to New Zealand and hang out with, this is not just name dropping, but
Humble brag.
With Richard Taylor. Oh God, this guy's the coolest guy. Richard Taylor owns Weta Workshops who did all the stuff for Lord of the Rings. Their shop. People come to my shop and go, wow, I go to his shop and go, I am unworthy. I'm going to
Yeah, my shop sucks.
There's
all
a
right.
20-foot dinosaur right there. I'm like, guy, just shoot me right in the face. And he told me something. We were driving through the mountains and everything, and I'm talking about motorcycles, and I'm talking about I used to skydive, and all this stuff. He goes, and all this dangerous shit. He goes, I don't do anything dangerous. He goes, I take very good care of my health, everything. I was like, why? He goes, I've got 200 people who rely on me. Your health, and I am a big criminal on this thing. I have screwed myself. I had it. This is not well known, and it's not a secret. I had a coronary incident last year. My heart's in perfect condition. The guy said, yeah, you're in great condition. You've got, 5 years. I said, what? He goes, you got to change something, because you're dumping nitrous into a Maserati. You're in great shape for, wow, you did great, but you're going to die. And I'm like, yeah, you're kidding me. He goes, no, you're going to die. And I'll write that. Did you need that in writing? I'm like, let me check on the list of holy shit. So yeah, and it's not just your health; it's your business. Who's that supporting? Who are you working with? Do consider these things when you say no. Sometimes I don't say no because I'm greedy as fuck. I really want the money. And I love things. I like
toys.
I want to afford.
I like margaritas.
Yeah. And so take care of that. And I'll take care of those health days.
One of the secrets that
bath with the candles, all that shit. There's me.
Okay, there's an image I'll never get out of my head.
That's why I don't put it on Instagram.
I need more wine.
French water, sir.
French water. Also, one of the things I got from Weta talking to those guys when asking them, hey, how did you give me some secrets on what you guys did. Don't be afraid when you start your company to downsize. You are going to expand. You're hiring on artists. You've got a project to get done. You're going to have multiple artists there. Yada, 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 yada. Don't be afraid to have to lay people off when you have to shrink back down.
I was going to go to work at Weta this month, and they said, yeah, that contract fell through. It could be 3 months before we... And what they have is, the cool thing they have is they have a little production department that produces their figurines, all that stuff, and that's what keeps the constant cash flow when they're not doing the record. By the way, answer your freaking phone.
Yes.
Mortal Engines, I didn't answer a phone call. That's why I didn't work on Mortal Engines.
Same way with us for Pirates 5.
Yeah. It was just, oops, I'll get back to that because I don't recognize the freaking number.
You're not going to get back.
I'm real bad at that.
Yeah. And I have fired people. I occasionally get people work for me. I hired this young lady. Oh, I work with this and that. And I said, well, give me your phone number. I'll call you. She says, I don't talk on the phone. I said, never mind. Click.
Yeah, done.
I know you have a social anxiety. Let me check if I care. I can't. I can't afford to care. Yes, social anxiety is very fashionable.
You miss that one phone call from a prop master.
Yeah.
They have a list. They're calling down that list. And if you don't answer, they're going to the next one. You'll never get that call again.
Yeah. My ex-girlfriend wouldn't answer the phone.
Yes, sir.
You've talked a lot about the making part of it as a business, and obviously there's not a lot of clergy in steampunk.
Right.
True. But we have the Pope. We're at the top of the level. Yeah.
Well, when I put this together, I looked at you could throw a stick and hit 4 airship captains, 3 navigators, and a couple ship surgeons. And so, long story short, I ended up going this route. And it is, I'm finding out, a very unique and recognizable character. Mm-hmm. And so, over the last 5 years now, I'm finding that I'm becoming more and more recognizable, and the reason for the Patreon page isn't that I'm creating, it's because I'm being asked to attend events.
You're maintaining.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to cover is,
I'm sorry.
4 or 5 days in a hotel is, like this weekend, it's going to run about $1,000.
It's money.
Yeah.
I'm retired. My landlord loves to see my rent check every month.
Yeah.
You know, I can afford to lose a little bit on the eating end of it, but and my Patreon page is based on the character pretty much. It's just asking for a monthly price of $1.
I think I know where you're going, and on this, you have to make a line in the sand that you're gonna say, I am not willing to pay to play. If you want me there in this costume doing this thing for you,
You're dragging my ass there.
you're paying me. Now keep in mind, some of these people, especially promoters for
Right.
cons and that sort of thing, they're going to try and give you the brick wall. That's
Right.
not a brick wall. It's foam. The second that you give them resistance back and say, you know what, I don't do this for free. You need to pay me because this is what it's going to cost me to haul my ass from New Orleans to Tucson with my crew. This is what I have to have. And be willing to say, if you can't pay that, I completely understand. No,
Well, the
bad
biggest
idea,
fear
it's
is
all right.
shooting myself in the foot
Well, both of us.
and not having then any.
You've heard of Dragon Con, right?
Yeah.
You know, a little party with 30,000 of my closest friends.
Yeah,
Right.
in
So I
Atlanta,
don't do
Georgia.
Dragon Con because I can
Yeah.
pay to go to Dragon Con. I can get paid to go to Big River.
Yep, and we're all going to be a big
We're
river.
gonna be a Big
So-
River, and it's
Oh, wow.
you know, like
Do not pay to play.
if you've got, you get to a certain point, you're at a certain point where we recognize you at an event. People do pay for personality. They pay for to have you're a piece of scenery, and that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. You know, I wish I could be scenery. My girlfriend is scenery. She's very scenic.
Yeah, you are scenery.
So, and at some point, even if it's
Wow.
Well, one of the biggest compliments.
Holy shit.
One of the biggest compliments I had was somebody was talking about making up characters and costumes and stuff at a convention in a panel, and they said, and then you have the iconic people, you know, like the Steampunk Iron Man and the Steampunk Pope, and it's like having me and Thomas Willeford in the same sentence is like, thanks, boss.
You know what? I could put that suit on anybody and they'd be more famous than me. Trust me.
And here's
They don't care about me.
there's a certain point, and you're going to be uncomfortable doing it because most of us are. Let's not lie here. Every single swinging person in this damn room is an introvert. We're all nerds.
Actually,
Nah.
Shut up.
Well, I'm glad that you get 90%.
Hit him. But the thing is at some point you need to realize the fact that your name and your star power, for lack of a better word,
Right.
is putting butts in seats. It has value.
It's
And
different if I'm a band. I come in, I play, and I'm done.
Yeah.
But as soon as I get out of the car, put on the costume, I don't even get in the gate, and they're always, "Can I get a photo?"
And that's
great.
the way it
That's
is.
what I'm
with-
here for.
That's the way it is with Airship Isabella. That's the way it is with Brute Force Leather and Thomas Willeford. That's the way it is with Tobias. Is this? You need to realize that your name and your image is worth something, and it's really difficult for most nerds because we're used to hanging out in the shadows
Right.
to step up and say, "Yes, this I am worth this. You are going to pay me to show up and do this." Because let me tell you right now, promoters are like sharks. The second they smell weakness,
They attack.
they're going to go all over you.
humility is for people who deserve it. Sorry, that sounds horrible. And I've had people say, "Oh, Thomas is an arrogant." People
Same.
say, but here's the thing. Have you ever go on the internet, find a place where I said my stuff is better than anyone else, or
He
that I'm
hasn't.
better.
It's never happened.
I present. Look what I've done. You're the judges. I don't judge other people's artwork because that's not my job.
That rings up to everybody thinks Cedric Whittaker and Thomas Willeford hate each other.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
No. You know whose job it is to judge art, and we do. You people. You judge.
It's y'all's
Mostly, you judge by doing this. This is the most quantitative way. My lovely artwork looks great. My parents put it on the refrigerator. When someone who worked hard is willing to take out money they did and go, "Thank you," they just thanked you for making that piece of art. And that's hard to get your head around because we've all been told that this myth that art is supposed to be all about the art. If that's the case, have a beautiful home.
Yeah.
But don't bring it here because you're not going to sell it. You need to be presenting your art. You are the face of your stuff. That's and that's why do you? I wanted to cut all my hair off. And my girlfriend's like, no. Because that part of the presentation, and she convinced me, part of the presentation is, you're that Thor-looking asshole. Okay.
Russ your angry bald man.
I recently just lost like 20 pounds or anything, because I was deciding, I'm 50, so I'm going to be fat and happy. Screw this.
10-minute warning.
I used to work out all the time, and she's like, no, you're that guy. Okay, I'll
Question.
Anyway, shut up.
Yeah, we're talking about reputations and everything. Do you even bother having a social media presence outside?
You have to.
No, I mean outside of who you are up here.
Okay.
Personal.
So what we do?
I no longer have a personal life.
Yeah.
For us in ASI, there is, and I'm going to say a name here, and if any of you repeat it, I will shoot you in the kneecaps. On social media, you have to have that separation.
If you want it.
But I know a lot of people who come in and close down their personal pages because people find out, oh, this person is this person, and now we have stalkers on our personal pages.
My background's in teaching, and in school, when I was learning to be a teacher, they're basically like, look, you should shut down your personal social media presence if you can't control it, because you're going to go on there, you're going to say something, and then you're going to get fired. Or you're going to get censured from your school, and it sounds like what y'all are talking, because your reputation is everything.
And see,
that's
the
like
other
y'all
thing.
Talking about something very similar. So you can't control it. Then,
Like, okay, not me, but my wife. She is all ASI, very politically correct. This is Airship Isabella. You go on the God help you.
It's a good place to be.
Because you say Trump rules. The nukes are inbound. But that is on her personal page.
I don't have it with me.
He's not lying.
So the thing I think the other thing you have to have the personality that you're willing to stay up and say, okay, you want to attack me as a special snowflake, which I hate special snowflakes, by the way. I bought a flash from him yesterday just for a single special snowflake.
But she's so sweet.
Yeah, screw her.
You know what happens if you eat too much sugar?
Yeah. Having that personal page and that business page is a lot of damn work. You have to put that firewall up. I don't go on my personal page and post political stuff.
Yeah.
A, because I don't want to type that much. My wife...
Your wife is also a writer.
She's a writer.
Also, I don't want to hear anyone else's political opinions regarding my political opinions.
And
it's a lot of work.
And for her, she enjoys that confrontation.
She likes to be.
For me, if I'm gonna have that confrontation, you and I are gonna be face to face and nose to nose.
There might be some drama.
I'm a born and bred Southern boy. We're going to talk, and oh, bless your heart.
I am a blunt instrument when it comes to these things.
That's because you're a carpetbagger that comes
Why did you name
Holy shit.
What I've done, all of my social media goes through at least one other person before I post it.
And mine too. If I'm posting something, before I hit send, my wife or one of the other crew members is looking over my shoulder and says, you might not want to send that.
My girlfriend, she's like, I hear clicking.
Everything you say can be helped.
Because once you hit that send button, that shit ain't coming back.
And people love screen capping.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's
Oh, I'm real good at it.
my shit sent
I have an entire folder of screen caps from him.
I understand it. And I think about that when I go to post something. I go, hey, what am I saying?
And just to give you an idea, and my wife taught me this, one of the things that I do is if I'm going to type something on the internet as Captain Whittaker, I will type it, I will put it off to the side for 24 hours. Then I will come back and look at it. Do I still hate Thomas Willeford this much to post it?
Yes.
No, actually I don't. All right. No, he pissed in my Cheerios, but he's right. You know?
On what?
I don't ever say that again. Too late to get your phones out. Sucks to be you.
It's on you. It's all recorded.
That's the thing is, if as a business owner, you put yourself even further out in public. You hire employees. Oh dear God, because every action has an equal and opposite reaction.
And
so if I make a screwed up decision, you know who it affects?
Success is the greatest form of censorship.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, I sit there and say, people say, "Oh, I love that you say everything you want to
5
that you
minutes.
want," and I'm like, "Really?" Because I don't say the crap I want. I've got pages, because I'm a writer too. Pages and pages of crap I wanted to say in a folder.
Aid is safe.
Safe for me.
Not sending.
You know where my private stuff is?
Okay, don't look at
You want to hack me? You got to find it.
All right,
That's what she said.
I have that.
I'm just saying.
He said it.
It doesn't live on my hard drive.
That's what she
My
said
private
too.
stuff is
How much
here
money?
with me.
The bidding starts at 50.
Right here, 55.
I'll bid it.
Over 60. 60.
You gotta want it more than I do.
Yeah, that's fine. You sleep.
So we got 5 minutes left. Anybody have questions? Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's not really a question, but since we're talking about social media and stuff like that, one of the things that you can do, that if you are bothered by stalkers and things of that type, on Facebook, there's no rule that says you have to use your real name.
Bingo. And on that point, for my males in the audience, everybody disses and attacks the male stalkers. The female stalkers are 1,000 times worse. All right, I've had 2 of my boys run out of a elevator, run to the green room, run past the green room guard, call the captain as they dived under the couch because of one girl.
Nice.
So even as a gentleman, realize there's a certain line, especially once you start getting where your name is out there, your face is out there. Doesn't matter if you're married. Don't matter whatsoever. Those stalkers, gentlemen, are going to come after you too. And a lot of times those girls are worse than the male stalkers because they don't quit.
Guys are also creepy.
The guys are creepy too.
An image thing. I'm at conventions. I'm flirty and stuff like that to an extent. I'm never alone with anybody.
Yep.
I barely go to the bathroom by myself. But even when I was single.
You want to know about interns?
Yeah.
I intern for you too.
I don't sleep with or fool around with anybody at a convention. You know, if it lasts outside the convention, we make friends later. I don't, because that reputation. When I was younger, I went there. That was my hunting ground. I was young, but that was a long time ago. I remember more. Yes, sir.
So some of the best prices then to get pricing for your products. You mentioned Etsy, and you mentioned
Etsy, eBay, and there's a bunch of
and then also look where you're getting ready to sell it at. What does the market hold?
Yeah.
If you're talking collectors, like, okay, my sniper rifle, I've had somebody offer me $10,000 for my sniper rifle. All right, he was a collector. Con Kid is not going to be able to afford that. Where are you selling your stuff, and what can that market sustain?
Yeah.
If you're dealing with if you're dealing with con kids, there's a fixed income there that you're dealing with. And if you go in there at $20 an hour for tooling a shoulder pauldron that's going to cost $1,000 for one pauldron, I hope you enjoy it because it's going to stay on your table.
Okay, so then further to that, with 2 different types of selling, say a store on the internet, and coming to these events, which would be the easiest to invest or most lucrative to start?
My Etsy pays my mortgage every month.
Yeah. Our online stuff is where we make our money. Because keep in mind, if you come up to me in person, and I'm going to say a word here, nobody kill me for saying this. In person, now, pirate, I'm willing to negotiate. We can sit here and talk back to back, and I have more respect for a customer who comes to me and says, you know what, that's $45, I'll give you $40 for it right now. Now we start the debate.
I've done it with him.
Yeah, he's done it with me. Thomas has done it with me. You do that now as a seller, I can debate back and forth with you. On the internet, this is what it costs. In the story, I'm not going to sit there and debate with a screen. Makes me feel weird and funny, and I don't like it.
I'm willing to make a deal here too because I want to go to conventions.
Yeah,
I need to.
I want to. Me, Thomas, we want to see that piece of artwork on you.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't want to see it on my table. I've been looking at it for 3 weeks.
I will undersell myself constantly in the name of someone having a cool piece.
Yeah,
That's why Tobias has a piece that has shoulder armor for him.
Sure.
How important is LAIC licensing, making yourself a corporation and stuff like that? How important?
There are so many.
There's some tax benefits and drawbacks.
Very
Okay, we're over 1 minute.
Yeah.
But here on that note, and this is my personal thing. If you're building stuff, if you're building stuff, and you're putting Batman and Wonder Woman logos on it, you're putting Bethesda logos on it.
Don't sell it online.
And you're gonna sell it. People are gonna buy it. Don't be surprised when that crosshair hits the back of your head and you get a phone call and/or a cease and desist letter.
But I mean, once you get that cease and desist letter, you cease and desist.
But you're also wondering if you're as becoming a corporation as opposed to being a sole proprietorship.
Thank you for listening to the Creative Play and Podcast Network. And feel free to enjoy our other shows, such as D&D Journey of the 5th Edition, and Scion Ragnarok and Roll, a Scion hero to Ragnarok story. Thank you for listening.
Well, I mean...
You own your company, you need to know what's about to happen to you.
Well, I want to know what's about to happen to me. That's why I'm here.
Let me tell you what's going to happen in the next couple of years.
Well, depending on how things go, I might be set.
Can I go see if I can track down
back home?
the others?
It's like basically I figured, it's a lot, hell of a lot easier to do here because my water is going to be lower and
Yesterday I had
I'm selling. But depending on how things go, I might very well say, I'm going.
Yeah, and just come and visit or vacation here.